Welcome to What's Pissing You Off Wednesday for August 25th, 2021. I'm Kevin McTaggart, the angriest comic in Vermont, and What's Pissing You Off Wednesday is where I rant about whatever's pissing you off. If you want to know how to contribute to What's Pissing You Off Wednesday, take a look in the show notes of whether you're listening to this anywhere in podcast land or whether you're watching it on YouTube, and you can find out how to contribute that way. Anyway, let's get to this week's episode. G.W. Foley is pissed off that his neck started to kink up when he was doing nothing, and now he has a stiff neck and can't turn his head to the right. So let me get this straight. Your neck hurt from doing nothing. I have the solution for you. Get off your ass and actually do something. Do some form of physical activity besides take the dog out. Just do something. Get off your ass and do something. Seriously. I think that's the solution. If you heard it doing nothing, you need to start doing more things that involve walking around and performing some sort of physical activity. I guess masturbation does count, but still, just get off your ass and do something for a change. I would say the same thing, the opposite thing, actually, I would say to someone who heard it doing something. I would tell them to take a rest and relax. But if you heard it doing nothing, you can't just relax. That doesn't make fucking sense. You got to do the opposite. You got to get off your ass and actually perform some physical activity for a change. You can't just sit around and do nothing all the time. No, you've got nothing to do besides schoolwork and stuff, but come on, you got to get up and do something. Be active. Get up and do something. I better see you standing around at the Woolen Mill Comedy Club show this coming Saturday that I'm going to go watch, because I know you're going to be there too. I know you'll be standing around, so you'll definitely be doing something there. But do something for a change. Love you. Rena Friedman Watts. On Instagram, by the way. She's pissed off about burnt cheese and egg and cheese wraps from Dunkin. They also never have the donuts on the menu. Like, what? Dunkin' Donuts sucks. Seriously. Every time I go to Dunkin' Donuts, either the customer service sucks or the food sucks. I mean, I like their coffee and I like their donuts. I'm sorry, they're not called Dunkin' Donuts anymore. They're just called Dunkin'. Because I guess the stuff that they have on their menu can't even be considered donuts anymore. But yeah, Dunkin' Donuts is very frustrating on many freaking levels. I do like their coffee. And I do like their donuts. I like their donuts too much sometimes. Seriously, I do love their donuts. But what? They should have just stuck to donuts and coffee is really what they should have done. They should have just stuck to donuts and coffee, two things that you can do. When they started branching out to breakfast sandwiches and all this other crap, all these lunch sandwiches. When I think of going to lunch, I don't think of going to Dunkin'. You know what I think of Dunkin'? I still think of donuts. We're probably going to have a time in the future where, they won't even have donuts at Dunkin' anymore. It'll be like when MTV doesn't even have music videos anymore. Dunkin' probably won't have donuts at some point because they'll figure out, donuts are too fattening. We can't have donuts anymore. We got to stop selling fattening food, so we have to get rid of the donuts. Fuck you. Getting rid of the donuts. Getting rid of the goddamn donuts. I mean, what the hell is up with that? You can't get rid of the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. They should just focus on the donuts and the coffee. Those are two things that they do well. Not all this other stuff. And if they have the donuts that you have on the menu. Update the menu if you don't have the donuts. Let people know you don't have the donuts that you want us to order. How bad is Dunkin' Donuts when they can't even get the donuts right? Maybe you were right in just calling it Dunkin'. Maybe we should just get rid of the donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, because Dunkin' Donuts apparently sucks at making donuts. When that's the thing they're famous for. Sean Lassard. I hope that's how I pronounce your name. I hope I didn't screw up your name. From Instagram, again. Wow, 2 Instagrams tonight. That's amazing. Anyway, Sean Lassard. He's pissed off. I don't know how to word it, but for me, it's debating strangers online, especially conservatives, and winning the debate only to have them end it with, "Shut up and go back to your mother's basement." And I've literally been living on my own my entire adult life, and my parents don't even have a basement. I do hate how conservatives go after me on social media, especially like TikTok. When I make like a political TikTok, by the way, follow me at McTaggart Attack. But I hate when I'm on TikTok and I make a political video on TikTok and it gets a shitload of views, but it gets a shitload of views because it's all conservatives commenting on how much they hate my video. Seriously, and it is a lot of the same comments that Sean was talking about. Like, go back to your mother's basement. That's how you know you've won an argument with the conservative, when they bash you for something that has nothing to do with the argument. When they bash you on your looks. When they bash you on what they think your life is like. That's how you know you've won an argument. When they go after something that has nothing to do with the argument. When it has something to do with your looks. It's pathetic, really. It's disgusting. It's terrible. Or when they call you libtard. Or when they go, "Shut up, libtard." I hate being called a liberal because I'm not a liberal. I'm a Democrat, but I'm not a liberal. There's a goddamn difference. And I don't live in my parents' basement. I have my own bedroom. Fuckers. Robert Brown, a.k.a. at Nintool for you, Ashley, on Twitter. I can't get a hold of my girlfriend. Her phone is on silent, I guess. Does anyone else want to tell him? I mean, I know that we're in a much more modern age now, and ghosting becomes more and more popular, but when you get ghosted by your girlfriend, that's just awkward. Terrible. But it's probably status quo for how stupid society is now, that his ass just gets ignored by his girlfriend because her phone is allegedly on silent, when it's probably not on silent. She's probably just not replying to you because she doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. I mean, I didn't want to be the one to tell you that your girlfriend was breaking up with you. But I feel like there's probably been other signs that have been happening in the past couple weeks or months that you should probably know about and be aware of, and should have been aware of. So when she just ultimately decided just not to respond or call you or text you or anything anymore, then, well, I mean, that you really need to do some deep retrospection and try to figure out what you did wrong. Because, like, if she's not talking to you on the phone anymore, then she's probably just not that into you anymore, and you really should just move on to your life. If in fact you even had a girlfriend at all, did she think you were her? Did you think, I'm gonna screw this up, but I don't care. This is a raw thing. Did she think you were her boyfriend? Or did you just think that she was your girlfriend? I'll say that again. Did she think that you were her boyfriend? Or was it just you thinking that she was your girlfriend? I'm not ranting on your behalf on this one because I can't fully support it. Because I just think a good friend should let you know what was probably going on here. And I'm sorry that it had to be the angriest comic in Vermont. Reaper, a.k.a. at Original Warlord on Twitter. is pissed off at Thieves. Thieves are fucking pissing me off today. Look, I can understand if someone is stealing food to eat, but you don't need to steal tools and clothes in large quantities, like an asshole. I did get more details about this from this guy. I guess there was, like, these two homeless guys that, like, filled their carts up with a bunch of stuff. He filled up his with tools, and his friend filled his up with clothes and stuff, and they both went out different entrances, and the guy with the tools got caught, but the guy with the clothes didn't. So they at least ended up with something. But I mean, it just, how seriously, if you put all this effort in trying to steal shit, why don't you put that effort into, like, bettering your life in some way? Why do you have to be a jerk and steal stuff from a store? Because you think you're entitled to it? Because does your life suck that bad that you have to settle for thievery? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you if you have to, like, resort to stealing things? Think about your life. If you're thinking, well, I could just steal stuff, and then I'm like, no, no, I could, but I won't, because I can be better than that. You should try to be better than that, than trying to steal crap. Just think before you act. And I know that, like, some people probably think that stealing is the only option, but it's not. There's other options that you can put your energy and your life towards instead of stealing. If you go through and think, of an intricate way to steal stuff, and I guess even if you're successful at it, you're still gonna probably get caught at some point. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, try to put your life in a higher level or something instead of trying to settle for thievery. Seriously. Like, unless it's like a Walmart, because Walmart sucks and you should steal all you want from Walmart. E. Butler, aka @in my opinion on Twitter, is pissed off that he'll waste 4 hours of my life watching Summerslam tonight, knowing it won't touch the first 15 minutes of AEW last night. That's right. Friday night, August 20th, 2021, CM Punk made his return to professional wrestling on AEW Rampage. I teared up. Thousands of other people in attendance teared up. I was not in attendance. I watched it on TV. I actually fell asleep and missed the 10 o'clock version, but I got the West Coast version, and it was still as fucking awesome as if I had watched it at 10 p.m. And then the next night, I had to watch SummerSlam. I guess I didn't really have to watch SummerSlam, but I have Peacock, so I watched SummerSlam. And I only watched, like, half of SummerSlam. I did think it was funny when the Sasha Banks Bianca Belair match was going to happen, and they announced that Sasha wasn't going to be there, and they had Carmella was going to replace her, but then Becky Lynch beat the shit out of Carmella and took her place and beat Bianca in 10 seconds. I loved how wrestling fans are so awful. Seriously. In that they went so crazy when Becky showed up. And they're like, oh, hey, Becky's back. I love pro wrestling. And then Becky beats Bianca in 10 seconds. I'm like, why? That's not the way you bring back Becky. Professional wrestling sucks. Wrestling fans are the worst. The fucking worst. Anyway, I think I watched maybe another match after that, but I was tired, and I laid down with the TV, with my computer going, and then I woke up. I think I fell asleep just before the Raw Triple Threat match for the women's title, and then I woke up just as Edge was making Seth Rollins tap out. And then I was still trying to watch, but then I think The Miz and Morrison were coming out for something, and I'm like, I have no interest in seeing this. I'm just going to turn it off and go to bed. Then I woke up the next morning and saw that Brock Lesnar came back, and I'm like, I'm really glad I didn't stay up for this, because I hate Brock Lesnar. Seriously. I don't give a shit about Brock Lesnar. I don't see the fucking point of Brock Lesnar at all. I really do hate that, like, I had to watch SummerSlam after watching the first 15 minutes of AEW, which was so great, compared to SummerSlam, which was not so great. Lois Dupuis is pissed off that rescuing a dog can be so hard. I have a good home. Grrr. Yeah, it sucks, like, when you want a dog and you think you're a good owner and you will love the dog, as opposed to the past owners that didn't love the dog, but apparently there's a lot of goddamn hoops and red tape that you have to go through just to get the dog that you love. But I guess you can think about it like this. Like, you have to go through all that red tape and go through all those steps because there are people that treated that dog like shit. So you're going to do whatever it takes to get that dog and love that dog. And you're going to be the best owner for that dog. You're going to be the best mother for that dog that you're ever that nobody else is going to want to be. You know, nobody's going to love that dog more than you. So you will go through the fire and the hoops and the paperwork upon paperwork and paperwork upon credit checks and all this stuff just because you love that dog. Anyone who hated that dog would just throw it away somewhere. Meanwhile, you're going to go through the corporate, whatever, bureaucratic bullshit to get this dog that you love, even though it sucks that you have to go through all those goddamn steps. But it sucks. Those steps are horrible because the people who treated that dog were horrible. So think about it like that. This was my motivational portion of What's Pissing You Off Wednesday for August 25th, 2021. Shelby McDonald. People taking their small children on vacation here and not making them wear masks when there are tons of people walking around. Also, not making them wear a mask on the ferry where everyone is required to be masked. Unless your kid is like younger than a toddler, like an infant, then they shouldn't wear a mask. I wouldn't want to put a mask on an infant, you know, or a toddler, I guess, even, maybe, I don't know, it fucking depends. Like, if they're younger than 2, then they probably shouldn't wear a mask. If they can't walk around on their own, then they probably shouldn't wear a mask. But if otherwise than that, any kid during this pandemic, and if they haven't been vaccinated, should be wearing a mask. Any parent that doesn't want to put a mask on their kid when they're old enough to wear a mask should not have children anymore. Should have those kids taken away from them. Seriously. Because what's going to happen when you bring those kids home and they're sick, and that makes other people sick because the kids were sick. And the kids are sick because you're a fucking idiot. That's why your kids were sick. Because you didn't have them wearing a mask. Why are you going on vacation during a pandemic anyway, when there's lots of people around? We're still doing this. We're still dealing with this. And we're still screwing up because we're so stupid as a damn people. Unless most kids have not been vaccinated yet, and we just go around having our kids just not having a mask on, not giving a shit. Oh, they'll be fine. The virus is up here. The kids are down here. That doesn't make any sense. Parents, this pandemic has proven that some people, most people, probably shouldn't have been parents in the first place because they don't know what the fuck to do as parents. All right, Jamie Shiner is pissed off about old geezers who drive sports cars with 350 horses under the hood going the speed limit? What the fuck? You even get that car for, bro? Yeah, I see that a lot. I mean, if you have a sports car and you're an old guy and you have a sports car that can go fast and you have it, but you don't go fast in it, what's the point of having the car? Seriously, why? Why do you have it? Do you have it for show? Do you not want to go too fast because you might damage it? Well, why did you buy the car? As a trophy? You're just gonna. I wish I was ever rich enough to have like a sports car and do nothing with it and just keep it in the garage for no one to see. No, you drive the crap out of that thing. People buy cars to drive around in them. People shouldn't buy cars just to keep them in the garage so nobody can see. What is the point of that? Why are we... How screwed up are we in a society when we have people that buy cars and don't drive them? It doesn't make sense. I guess it makes sense if you're like super rich and just that snobby that you want to buy a car but never drive it. Or when you do drive it, you drive it 10 miles below the speed limit instead of over the speed limit like you should, because it's a fast car and it should be driven fast. And what you're doing is just ruining the car even more than you didn't want to ruin it for. People are stupid. All right, well, that was this week's episode for What's Pissing You Off Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think by finding me on social media at McTaggart Attack or commenting on the YouTube video if you're watching this in YouTube. But happy What's Pissing You Off Wednesday for August 25th, 2021. Everybody.